All right, let's get into it.
I don't even know what day it is.
It's a day.
Yeah.
It ends in day. Yep. We've had a busy couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I think from all you listeners and viewers from the last episode, Scott was in Nicaragua at the factory. You were down there for what? 9 days? 8 days?
8 days.
8 days?
Yeah.
And then you just got back 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good trip. I think we got some stuff out of it. I did learn some things.
Yeah.
That some people in Nicaragua, I know they don't speak very good English.
Yeah.
But I also learned that sometimes they speak very horrible Spanish as well.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what you're trying to say.
And Spanish is their first language, right?
Yeah. Now, a little bit of failure to communicate on some of the projects I was working on. So I'd get samples, and not of cigars, but like more of the boxes, and it had me a little concerned with how to communicate at all. And but we'll work through it. It'll work out, but it's just every time something doesn't come out right, it delays a week,
everything,
or two, before you get another sample. It just it snowballs. So
other than them not understanding colors,
I
think it was a very successful trip.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Had a bunch of stuff done.
Yeah. I'm glad the podcast thing kind of worked.
That was nice.
We didn't know if if the connection would be good enough to do that, and that seemed to work out okay.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. The only time that I was worried is when everyone got back from lunch. Yeah, and there was a difference, and it was just mainly quality of video. For like a couple seconds, it was like,
so that password's not too secure is what you're saying?
I don't think it is. Yeah. But yeah, so you guys were at the factory for a little while, and then you went to San Juan del Sur.
We went to Las Pinitas, which is just outside of Leon, for an evening, and then after that we went to San Juan del Sur. Yeah, and we had a good time. I wore the boys out. They wore themselves out.
Yeah, I haven't seen either one of them since you guys got back.
Yeah. No, they've been. It was they had a good time. Overindulged in the alcohol the first couple nights, and then it tapered off from there a little bit.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I should have set up the fun weekend first, and then the factory
at the end,
in the middle of the week.
Yeah,
would have made more sense, but I didn't realize they were going to go crazy in the middle of the week.
Well, so like when we go,
that's what I told them.
It's opposite. But
no, I said it's the same thing. Oh, I meant to like Vegas or something. Like every time John and I go out, it's the first night we get all fucked up.
Yeah,
and it tapers off after that.
But in Nicaragua, it's always the last weekend is whatever the
the fun weekend.
Yeah, because you reward yourself for the actual projects that you get completed. Yeah. See, they were just going to have fun. So as soon as you could have taken them across the border in Mexico, and they'd have been like, yeah. Once
we ordered that first drink and they got served, and absolutely no questions. They were like, "Oh, this is kind of cool."
Yeah.
But I think the factory tour led to quite a few comments and questions. I don't know if we want to go over some of those.
We do have some questions. The first one is the filler tobacco and the wrapper of the cigar both applied moist?
It depends on the filler, like not the mixed filler. I don't think they moisten that too much. That's pretty dry when they put it in. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. You got to make it pliable, or else it'll all just crack and fall apart.
But
there's a level. It's not like when they do the wrapper on the outside.
Yeah,
it's not that wet. Because that they need to be able to stretch.
Yeah,
just
enough so it doesn't crack. But yeah, everything's put together.
Yeah,
moist.
This next one's a little lengthy, but I think it's a great question. When it comes to creating blends, do companies put some kind of patent on them which prohibits other companies from developing the same blend, or are there too many variables involved in tobacco growth that you could not necessarily make that possible?
You could not necessarily make that possible. Because there's like different regions of Nicaragua, right? So say you're using Jalapa Seco, right? There's no way you could get a patent for that because,
but also it's like what seed?
what seed,
what year,
what year,
crop.
yeah, everything's
You
different.
know.
Yeah.
There's some companies that their way of getting away with it is they develop their own tobaccos. They don't release them. They don't release the seeds. They're special, hybrid blends that their family has worked over generations, and this is what they grow. And they grow it on their own property. They do all their own processing, and they roll it into their own cigars.
Yeah.
And there's like,
or I mean, another technique to, if you don't want somebody to copy you, right, is you buy all of that particular tobacco.
Yeah.
And a lot of the big companies try to do that, I think. So.
Yeah. But, I mean, you can pretty much recreate any cigar.
Yeah, it just takes time.
Well, that you just take somebody to know what they're looking at.
Oh yeah. I mean, like if you want to recreate it by growing the same tobacco, whatever, you can.
Yep.
You could totally do that. Yeah, there's so many variations you wouldn't need to, right? I'm sure accidentally. Like, I don't think people purposely go, "I'm going to recreate this exact cigar and sell this."
Some do.
Some do.
And they very slightly change the colors and branding and bands and artwork and all that.
But sometimes they're not even creative about, they're just like
we just stole your cigar.
Yeah, blatantly I'm copying you, But there's so many variables that I'm sure it accidentally happens too. Our blend might be really close to another blend, but it's not because we know that.
Yeah.
I don't open every other brands of cigar and look and see exactly what's in them.
Like if that were the case, every number one cigar every year, the next year, everybody would release that cigar.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it just comes back to that why. Like, why would that would be like Bud Light being like, you know what? We're just going to steal Miller Lite's recipe and we're going to make Miller Lite in our Bud Light cans. It's just like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's doable. It's just like I said, most companies won't do it. Most companies will take their personal pride in what they're doing and put it into that cigar. But there are companies that are out there that somebody will release a cigar that gets Cigar of the Year. And then next year, a large manufacturer releases this brand new cigar and it looks awfully familiar.
And then they don't pay the $4 million in advertising and don't get anywhere close to rated number one. So
no,
it's weird how that works too.
But people accidentally buy that cigar because it looks.
Oh, you're talking more band though.
Everything,
Yeah.
The cigar, the band,
Right.
Boxing, packaging, the whole nine. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I challenge you as a smoker to. I wish we could do this where I had 4 of the same cigars with different bands on, or I had 4 different cigars with the same bands on,
Right.
just to see if the actual smoker can really tell a difference.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them can,
Yeah.
but I know there's some people out there that smoke cigars that absolutely couldn't tell the difference between anything.
Yeah.
And it's just a lack of experience. They don't care.
Yeah.
Some people, when they smoke a cigar, all they care about is it good or not good.
Or not good. That's it.
They don't geek out.
Flavor
to anything.
profiles, no, it doesn't matter.
This one's good. And that's
I still want to do the blind taste testing
Mm-hmm.
where there's no band on the cigar. It's
a neutral size.
It's cut and lit essentially for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right. And you're blindfolded.
Right.
Like there is zero sensory except for you can feel it in your hand and you can try to pick out taste.
You should be handed it like this though. 2 fingers on the band itself, and that's all you get.
The band's off. You can feel the cigar.
Okay, you put like a paper band then, so you can't feel the cigar.
Oh, you want okay.
You know what I mean?
Where you're going
because
with that.
I think I could tell the difference between some of ours by just feeling the cigar.
Huh. I see what you're saying.
But if you had like a piece of paper as a band,
stick like a Post-it note on itself around
and that's all you can touch. Yeah.
I have a question.
Oh.
What the fuck? John needs a little blue pill for his mic.
No, this is Mikey's.
Oh, that.
It's just he's got a balancing act going on over here.
Is that something, because we could totally do that. Is that something we could do in one episode, or do you think your pallets would need a break?
I don't know if I'd want to do it on an episode, but
I want to do it first before I record it and put it out for the internet to see. Because
they could go on and two.
Well, no, because so like I've done little tricks at cigar lounges and bars.
Yeah.
Because without the visual of smoke going out of your mouth, you don't know if you took a drag or not. You don't know how much or how big. You don't feel it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
You have no idea.
Yeah, it's hard to gauge.
But imagine if I handed you a lit cigar and I handed you a not lit cigar and you were blindfolded. Do you think you'd know the difference?
I mean, you could easily figure it out.
Well, I get that, but without retro, without inhaling.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, but these are the things like this is like, I want to play around with this because I don't want a 45-minute video getting put on the internet. Just Scott and myself looking like fucking tool bags. I'm like, look at these idiots.
Because I honestly think though to do something like that would make almost anybody probably look like an idiot.
That's what I mean. Yeah. You know, like it's so without having the visual, it takes away so many telltales of that cigar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think that is like, oh, you want to do it? You want to get rated? You want to do taste testing? Cool. 100% blind. Not like here's a cigar with no band on it. It's no, we're taking away sensory parts of you. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, without retro, it's really hard to tell.
Listen, I mean, like I don't know if somebody'd be able to tell if it's lit or not lit. Like I think it's that extreme once you take away that vision.
Yeah, if you're, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like to know that like if you have like a little bit of smoke or a lot of smoke is almost impossible unless you retrohale.
Yeah.
When you retro, you can tell. But yeah, that's interesting. What was the question? I don't remember.
The original question was essentially about patents on cigars.
Oh,
and
yeah.
blends.
I think it would be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that and
kind of pointless.
There's a lot of people that you know, they'll tell you what the wrapper of that cigar is, but the binder and filler are undisclosed.
Yeah.
You know,
which I understand. You don't want to throw your whole recipe.
But if you're going to patent it, it's public information now.
Oh, that's true too.
All I have to do is search your patent and read what it is. And then I'm like, oh, cool.
How would you enforce said patent? Are you going to go cut apart everybody else's cigar and then have to prove that you're using the exact tobacco?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, because all you have to do is change the percentage of filler.
30%.
Well, I mean, but
30% of anything changed, you get rid of like infringement shit.
But I mean, the cigar's going to make a drastic change just based on if you use 10% of some leaf versus 20% of some leaf.
Right.
So,
but and then the flip side of the same coin, there's some tobaccos that are extremely similar to other ones that are different families.
And there's the same tobacco that is extremely different year to year.
Yeah.
So there's no way. I don't know.
Because I know you can you can patent names or copyright or patent names.
Yeah.
You can do shapes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do techniques, if I remember right. Like manufacturing technique. Like
maybe, yeah.
But then again, I just read a really interesting article last night on Twitter about Ridge wallets.
Yeah.
You know, the ones
the hard ones?
The hard ones with the clip, right? They hold a patent for that.
There's a million knockoff companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And literally they were working with Amazon's legal team because they sell literally hundreds of millions of dollars on Amazon.
Yeah.
This company does. It's not like, we sell 20 grand a year. Like, no, hundreds of millions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, all of these companies are patent infringement. Here's our patent, by the way. And, you know, whatever. Their legal team was like, I don't know why you're trying to bring us in the middle, because they also have lawsuits against all these other companies at the same time. But they're trying to get Amazon to stop hosting and selling because these companies can buy ad space. So they get displayed before Ridge Wallet does for Ridge Wallet's patent.
Yeah.
You know, like their Amazon's legal team was literally their last line in the email was, so based on all of this, please stop contacting me. I was just like, what? Because Amazon doesn't make money on selling the product. They break even on all that. All their monies, their profit is on ad spend, on all the sponsored products and all their ads that they get, all the click-throughs. Every single page you go to on Amazon, every single page has ad products on it.
Yeah.
Right? You click on a product, it takes you to the product, you go down more, it says, hey, people also bought this, and it gives you 3 with the total price.
Right.
And that next row of things, it says sponsored. And there's probably 15, 20 products. Every single one of those paid to be on that page. You know what I mean? So like their margins, because of their overhead, I don't think they make shit when somebody sells a product.
It probably depends on the product.
Well, they take a percentage.
Yeah.
That percentage probably covers their overhead. And I'm willing to bet their ad spend because that's just free money. It doesn't cost them anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read that last night about Ridge Wallet fighting. And I was just like, at least you're a decent sized company to do it. You know?
I did a quick Google, and apparently they took another company to the U.S. Court of Appeals, the federal side. So I guess they're going after some people.
Ridge Wallet or Amazon?
Mosaic Brands Inc. versus Ridge Wallet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're doubling down.
The problem with patents is you have to have the money to
fight it. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's pointless.
Because that's basically like a patent is basically just saying like, hey, we did the paperwork, right?
No, it's saying this.
It's saying, hey, this is mine. But in order to enforce it,
that's when
I have to sue you, take you to court, and get a judgment against you.
Yeah.
I in theory, I should be like, hey, this is my patent. You're making the same thing. You got to stop. Here's cease and desist.
Now, when it's two big companies, right? They'll go at each other.
Yeah.
But when it's two small companies, it's like if I had a patent and another smaller cigar company had a patent, right? And I sued them. Well, it's kind of like, do they think they have enough money to fight me? You know what I mean? That's all it comes down to.
Look at lawyers get paid by the word.
Yeah. The only people that are going to win in that situation would be the lawyers. But yeah.
The easiest way to handle all this is to have a simple conversation.
Yeah.
The downfall is that simple conversation never has the end goal of both parties in mind.
It could.
But it never does. That's why there's courts and lawyers.
No, but we've settled. I don't know. It's easy for I'll approach anybody and have a conversation.
Yeah. But imagine like Ridge Wallet, for instance, right? You know, or look at fucking. I don't even know if that's a thing, but Ridge Wallet, because we're talking about it, right? Like you put blood, sweat, and tears to build this company, make this wallet, and all of a sudden, some Chinese knockoff company has been like,
and then 40 other ones immediately after that.
Yeah. And then you're like, hey man, like we hold a patent on that. You can't do that. And they're like, sorry.
Yeah.
Not changing it.
Sue me. I'm in China. What are you going to do?
You know,
how do you sue somebody in China? Like,
yeah, no, somebody came out with like, say somebody recreated our Connecticut, and you know, well, for one, I'd be like, hey, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you know or not, but I know. But what am I going to do? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it goes back to the same thing. If you took that other cigar and then one of ours and you gave it to a random smoker, and you're like, hey, let me know the differences between these. Yeah. And I think your answer would be based on how you ask the question. Hey, man, tell me how similar these are.
Right.
Or, hey, these are two completely different cigars. What tasting notes do you get out of the ones? Yeah. And you're prepping them to give you the answer. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So, yeah.
You know, I think, for example, one patent I know about in the cigar industry is the LFD digger, right? So, it's the chisel.
Yeah, the chisel.
The chisel. So, it's
actually Placencia did their sixto.
Yeah, did their sixto. You know, and that's a definitive shape where you could very easily say, hey, you're copying this, and we have the patent on this.
Yeah.
But a blend, it's almost subjective too, unless you know exactly exactly that they're buying the same tobacco from the same place.
Yeah.
And like it would be so hard to do that. But maybe it's been done. I don't know.
We had a company years ago. We had a similarly named cigar, and they approached us about something, and we had paperwork, and that was the last we heard of it. It was just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
And like it's kind of how it should be.
Yeah. And I think trademarks hold a little bit more weight than patents.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong,
But I also think, context plays a lot into it as well. Like
a trademark's, like say our logo, right? If somebody uses our logo, well, obviously we're going to tell them to stop, but it's not like I can say, don't make t-shirts.
Speaking of logos, I got a phone call on Friday evening. Minutes. Everything was already locked up. It was after we're normally here. I was the only one here. You were gone. Michelle was gone. The boys who were with you. Like, that's it. I was just like, I literally just locked the front. I walked into my office to grab the rest of my shit, and the shop phone rang. And I was like, fuck. I'm like, okay, I'm here. I got to answer it. So I walk back over, grab the shop phone. Warfighter, this is John. Right? And I can't remember the dude's name. I wish I could. He goes, hey, man, I got a question for you. Okay, shoot. He's like, so I really want to get your logo tattooed, but I don't want to do it without getting y'all's permission because I listen to your podcast and I heard you guys. I don't want you coming to take it back. He's like, so do I have your permission to get Warfighter logo tattooed? I'm like, fuck yeah, man. I'm like, on one condition, you have to send us pictures after you get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, because then if you don't, then I was like, then we're going to come find you and I'm cutting it off. But yeah, so.
No, not only if you use our logo for a tattoo, like I want to meet you at some point then. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? That's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Well, what other questions you got?
The next question is, does the factory in Nicaragua have AC?
Yes.
Ours does.
Not all of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, ours does. So I think, I don't know when they got it, 8 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I remember him telling the story. He said, Gonzalo was saying that when they put AC in, all the workers complained for the first week and because they were cold.
Yeah.
And he said then one day they turned it off and everybody was like, oh, you need to turn that back on. He said it didn't take long for him to get used to it. So.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Esteli's pretty mild compared to the rest of that country.
They do have their hot days.
They do have their hot days, but yeah.
Yeah. But no, that's nice.
You know.
Another one, which we get every now and then, so it's always good to cover. How can I get my local shop to carry Warfighter / keep Warfighter better stocked?
You just gotta ask them.
Yeah.
Just keep bothering them. You know, the more a shop gets asked to carry our brand, they're more likely they are to carry our brand. If they never get asked, they're not just magically going to show up there one day.
Right.
You know, you have to. We rely on the customers to ask the shops. So,
and if you're in there and you know your favorite Warfighter cigar is low or out of stock, ask them, hey, when are you getting more of these?
mm-hmm.
You know, it's an innocent question.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, we want people to buy through the brick and mortars. Like if there's a shop right by your house and you want to smoke a Warfighter and they don't carry Warfighters, then that's a problem. Like we need to fix that. So, you know, the shop would appreciate it too, as long as they sell, right?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah.
Yep. And if they want to contact us, have them hit us up, info@warfightertobacco.com. We all have access to that and we'll be able to get it taken care of.
Mm-hmm. And the last question, I don't think this is going to be, well, maybe. Who can drink more, John or Scott?
Oh God.
We'll never find out.
We've done our damnedest though.
About to say,
We've tried.
I've heard y'all have tried.
It's gone back and forth. I've had my days and you've had your days. You know?
It's not like
we would have to, it would take us 3 days to figure this out. Let me preference.
I'm all ears.
It would take us 3 days to figure this out. Day one would be cleaning our system, drinking.
There'd be like a workup to this.
That's what I'm saying. We would have to drink like a gallon and a half of water. Day one, eat the same shit. Day two, same thing. Get on the same routine.
Yeah.
You know, have the same meal right before we went out and drank, and then we'd have to drink the same thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Go drink for drink.
and then it would have to be like, how do you figure out who wins that? Who can drive home or who can't walk home? You know what I mean? Like where do we stop?
I have an idea.
When one of us dies?
No.
'Cause
After
longevity, I think I'm going to have John.
after every third drink, we have to go shoot a group.
Oh,
Yeah, then one of us is probably going to die.
That's it. We do 3 drinks.
Yeah, there has to be a standard.
But it can't be like
sobriety test.
fuck no. Neither of us can stand up on our own sober.
Well, but I mean, we could blow the same thing and be drunk differently, right? If you're doing a breathalyzer.
yeah. Blood alcohol content would be different. Maybe.
But even if it was the same, we might be acting different.
That's true.
Like I don't.
Yeah.
There has to be a test.
There has to be a skill that we're both.
Because like on your birthday when you went 30 shots deep, I don't ever want to do that. You know what I mean? Like that's not how I drink and what I like I don't want to do
That's
that.
not normally how I do it either.
But if I have a good meal and then I pace myself, I can drink a lot over time. If it's like chug this bottle right now and let's see who can stand up the
Like,
longest.
we gotta
like,
figure-
that's
like-
not fun.
Who can drink more? It's so open-ended that I don't think we can. It has to be more like who can drink more.
Who can handle their booze the best? So then there's a
but it
you-
has to be a timeline.
yeah, there has to be a quantity and a timeline.
Yeah.
And then a test.
Yep. We need. what
Okay,
do they call them?
This is developing.
What do you call them when you in experiments? You need baselines. There we go.
Yeah.
And no, it's not baseline.
It's not baseline.
It's,
You need a
metrics. No. Standards, maybe.
Oh God, I know exactly what you're
I
talking
know.
about, but I can't think of it either.
Like everything has to be
yeah.
set a certain way so
Right.
all the data is accurate. Why can't see? Maybe. Yeah.
But do you think it'd be like one drink every X amount of minutes?
So that's when I've done drinking competitions in the past. I've done 2. One of them was just drink for drink. The other one we had to set time,
Yeah.
but that's because a chick
Yeah.
challenged me,
Right.
and I had to make it fair based on body weight.
Right.
And I almost screwed myself, but yeah, powered through. It was victorious.
Yeah.
Like kind of like that boxer in the Olympics.
Yeah.
What? I mean, you got to do what you got to do to beat a woman sometimes. Sorry.
Did you just say you need to beat women sometimes? That's kind of what I heard.
So I did it in a drinking competition.
Oh, okay.
That dude did it in a fucking boxing ring.
I heard that he broke her nose in 40 seconds, and that's how it ended. That's
She literally, it was like I saw the punch, and she literally like it
yeah.
hit her.
This is in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
And they were
It is a biological man. Like it's a dude that already had issues with not being able to pass hormone panels in the past with the Olympic Committee. And then they let him fight some chick that physically and literally fought to get to the highest level of competition. To have a dude take her out in 46 seconds.
Yeah.
Like
What countries are these from?
she was from Italy, and who the fuck knows? I don't give a fuck where he was from.
It's so wrong.
But I think it was like some stand country.
But anyway, I think
But yeah, so we set metrics. Like when I did that one, I think it was I had to do 2 drinks to her 1. Or no, we went drink for drink, and then I did 2 shots to her 1 shot. Then we did a shot every 15 minutes and a drink every 30 minutes.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, I know.
But that gave us a quantity and a time.
Yeah. So there would have to be.
There would have to be similar.
But then what's the test at the end?
So the test that I had with her is you either quit or you puked.
Oh, see, I don't think puking's fair. Maybe.
Why not? It's like a restart.
But if you said I had to chug this much of the bottle right now, obviously I can handle that much fucking whiskey.
Yeah.
But if I took this to the face and drank that much right now, I might puke.
And if you don't, God, I can't wait for 30 minutes.
Right? I'm just saying, like, it depends what you're drinking, how you're drinking.
Yeah. But I feel like throwing up is a DQ.
Well, you're resetting the clock.
Yeah, that's it.
That.
Yep.
DQ for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Standard, maybe not so much. Like is the test, but it's got to. What's something that y'all are both, you would say equally proficient at?
Well, that's what I said. Every 3 drinks, we have to shoot a 5-round group and see who gets.
Yeah, but one of us might be better at that sober right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's a way.
We know what the gun can shoot.
Oh, that's true.
We know what the ammo. You know what I mean? So maybe that sober group, that's our control.
And then
and then the difference,
and it's a percentage. But you can throw that
But the difference. Yeah. So it's 3 or 5-shot group.
Yeah.
Right. We do a control. We take our measurement.
Right.
And then we measure every other group. And the difference between the control and that another group, they all get added up. So let's say we do 10 times.
So for my control, I'm just going to shoot on purpose a 3/4 minute of angle group.
Okay. So the difference from that every single time, plus or minus, doesn't matter. Right.
Oh.
So say you shoot a quarter the next.
Yeah.
So you shoot 1.5 inches after that. Yeah. Both of those, the difference, they all get added up over the course of it. And at the end, whatever that number is, it's like golf. Whoever has the lowest number wins.
There's a lot of factors in that, though.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree to that if we did it in like a 50-yard indoor range, so there's no elements that are fucking you up.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not a distance that there's no wind, there's no environmentals.
Okay. Who has a range and a bar?
Right. Fuck. Let's do this.
This would be so fucking awesome.
It would be so fun.
It's like it's the perfect time.
I have a feeling though, you would literally watch my groups get better for a couple drinks, and then they would start to fall apart.
I have the opposite on this.
So
I feel like
find out.
No, I feel like this would be. It would be unbelievably competitive until we opened the second bottle. I think it would take that much.
I think it would too.
Because even shit-faced.
But I think cold sober.
That's going to be my worst group.
That's going to be it's cold sober, and it's my first.
Especially if we took 3 days preparing for this.
And it's my first 5 rounds.
I might have the shakes.
Yeah. Right? It's going to take a couple shots to like calm. It honestly helps you if you like. What is it?
It's the same with dry firing before your fucking cold bore.
But like you want to slow your breathing down. So like there's a diazepam trick to competitive shooting where you can control yourself a little bit better. And I think the first couple that would like just calm you down, then you would take the over focus off of it.
Yeah.
I think a guy would do better after a couple shots.
Well, it's like we always shot better.
Not everybody.
We always shot better hungover.
That was because we didn't give a fuck.
Well, we didn't overthink it.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it's going to be when we get drunk.
When we get drunk, it's going to fall apart. It will fall apart. It'll probably be bottle number 2.
I've never shot a group for accuracy shit-faced.
No, not even with a couple drinks in.
No,
it, really.
The only thing
Maybe
I've shot
one.
drunk are pigs. Huh.
But I don't know if shooting would be the way to measure it. I don't know what the right test would be to see. Like if we're just drinking until somebody can't walk out of the room.
You know what we need? You know what we need? We need a panel of judges.
Oh, that would be maybe the way to go.
Yep. We need a panel of judges.
And we need to do it in public.
But we don't know these people.
Right. We need to do
We're
it.
not allowed to talk to them.
We're at a random bar.
Yep.
We're hanging out with each other, and they're just observers.
That's it. But they can't drink.
Right. They're just observers.
Yep. They can't talk with us. We can't talk with them.
Yep. And
They can't talk with. Yeah.
and we leave when the bar closes, and then it's just in a panel of judges.
And then we do an episode the next day, and
Yeah.
they come on and they fucking roast us.
yeah, like the after action.
I
we
love
doing a.
We need Mikey involved in this too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I got a feeling Mikey might go first.
Anyway,
this.
I love this brainstorming session right now. It's awesome.
I like this.
but yeah, if
So if you live in the San Antonio area and you'd like to be a judge,
Drop a comment down below.
definitely the server needs to be a judge, or the judges need to like.
you know what? I got a place we can do it. And we can smoke in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they will serve us until fucking. I'm not going to say it because I just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a place we can do this.
All right, I got the last question for you boys.
Okay.
Over the years, how have your pallets changed?
Oh, that's
Drastically
yeah.
is the easiest way to explain it in one word.
And I would say we have different palettes.
We do. We have very different palettes. Yep.
Yeah.
My palate changed so much. I used to enjoy infused cigars.
Right. I think that's everybody, right? Like, fuck. Back in the military days, we smoked acids and
So I just fucking smoked anything. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
Black and Miles were decent.
right.
But no, I mean, like, even like when we were, working ground up with Warfighter stuff, like I would buy a fat bottom Betty to go smoke on a weekend.
Yeah. Right.
Now,
Right.
and it's not because it's a bad cigar. It is just so overpowering to me now.
I'll put this because I'm not a wine person, right?
Yeah.
So this has always been my way to explain this to people. When you first start out drinking wine,
Yeah. Boone's Farm's delicious.
everybody likes the sweetest, cheapest wine, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what they want to drink. But if you drink wine with somebody who really drinks wine, it's a different kind of wine,
Big time.
big time.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of how your palates will change with cigars.
Yeah.
You might start out mild in your smoking. Like I used to like more mild cigars. Now I like bolder cigars. John, I think you still like.
I went
mild.
back. I went up and then I went back.
Yeah.
I went to like, I need the darkest, boldest, like, how much you got more? You got extra nicotine you can put in there for me?
Yeah.
And then I went way back to the other end, back down to the lighter side of stuff because I'm more looking for the flavors coming out of it than I am the strength coming out of it now. But I still smoke bold cigars,
Right.
But my go-to every day is our Sumatra.
So my boys, they're young. They don't smoke a lot, but they smoke with me, right? But at the factory, they were smoking more cigars than they have ever. But I gravitate toward our Garrison line, so that's what I smoke.
Yeah.
So they were smoking that for the first couple of days,
Yep.
and then I'm like, I actually paid attention. I'm like, oh, you guys should try these. And Logan's like, oh, I like the Sumatra way better
Yeah.
than the other ones. I'm like, yeah, you should because that's
Right.
who we blended it for.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I don't know. In the summer, it's because it's been so goddamn hot lately.
Yeah,
Like I won't smoke a cigar in the evening out back.
I do everything.
And I'm too because at least you're inside in the shade.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I'm
true.
outside, And I'm too fucking lazy to walk upstairs to use my smoking room.
Yeah.
So I just won't have a cigar.
Yeah,
But that's normally when I smoke those bolder cigars.
yeah,
Because I've already had a cigar or two, maybe three. And then now I'm like, okay, like now it's my time to just chill and relax. Give me something that's gonna fucking
See, and I used
Slap my
to
pee-pee.
be that way too, where I'd start off mild in the day and then work my way up bolder. But now, my first cigar of the day, I like it to be one of the bolder ones.
now I like my first cigar of the day is whatever cigar that I want to pay attention to.
Yes. Yeah.
That's like when you came back from Nicaragua, I waited. When did you guys get here? Like 3 PM?
Yeah.
Is when you physically got back to the shop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Scott, what'd you bring back? I haven't had a cigar yet.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait.
And the last couple of days I've been forgetting, but yeah, we have some new blends to smoke through and stuff like that. So yeah, you always want to do that kind of stuff, like research cigars on your first cigar of the day. I do anyway.
Clean palate.
Yeah.
And there's ways to cleanse your palate in between cigars, and it helps.
Not just whiskey. There's other things that work too.
It's surprisingly soda water.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
The night shift recently got reviewed.
It did.
Do you want to go into like how reviews typically work?
No.
All right.
I mean, we can briefly. I don't want to go into detail.
So if you, go. Well,
so okay. So a lot of the times how it works is you get your cigars reviewed based on ad spend with whatever magazine or platform is reviewing your cigars. There are very few cigar reviewers that are out there.
I think a lot of the online
impartial.
A lot of the online guys are kind of impartial because they're not.
Yeah,
we're not
like
to do anything. If it's a publication, though, it's hard to find.
Justin, this is a really deep rabbit hole.
But anyway,
so
I think,
to sum it up briefly with like the online versus the magazine and that kind of stuff, right? Like, and I'm not discrediting anybody by any means. I'm never gonna call out somebody by their name or a magazine by their title. But there's a lot of guys that have a cigar review platform on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And it literally is, no offense, it would be like Justin being like, I'm going to start reviewing cigars.
Yeah.
Cool, man. What do you do?
Yeah.
What like, are you a certified tobacconist? Or have you been a blender before? Have you done pairings or hosted events? Are you a sommelier? Like, how have you learned how to do that?
Justin would have two good and bad.
No, but that's what I mean, right? So a lot of these reviews, when you see, they are some of them are phenomenal,
and I'm not going to flat out say in a lot of the big magazines you have to pay in order for them to review it,
because some you don't.
Some you don't. But however, if Warfighter never gets on the radar of a magazine by spending money on it, they're not going to review our cigars.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not going to. Who's Warfighter? We don't know. We never talked to the guy.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've been in email contact with Cigar Aficionado for 4 years now.
Yeah.
Talking with whoever the guys are that deal with their rating systems.
Right.
Right. Because they don't charge for their ratings.
Right.
Right. So for 4 years, I've been trying to, okay, cool. Now we established this. Awesome. Here's a shitload of information about our company and who we are and where we, come from and what we're about and how we got to where we are today and our presence in the industry. Who can I send cigars to? Right. So you can try them to see if you want to rate them. Right. It's not who can I send cigars to so you can rate these. Right. I'll send samplers to whoever you want. Yeah. That way you can smoke these cigars. I'll send you a fucking bundle of each. Don't give a shit. Would you guys rate us? Right. Here's the cigars. Is it worth your time or not? I can't even get the address to get to that part. Right. Right. If we spent $250,000 with them in advertisement, they might rate one of our cigars.
Yeah. And they would want to, right?
I hope so.
I would hope so. But in like somebody like a big magazine like that, they're not going to rate somebody in the cigar industry who is very, very small, right? So I think they have a requirement of you have to sell so many cigars per year in order to even get their attention, right? Otherwise, you're not big enough, you're not whatever, which I understand. I understand that. Yeah. So I think you have to sell so many a year.
But this is also the same magazine that their largest consumer source is the United States of America. And on their yearly top 10 list,
Right.
that number one cigar is a fucking Cuban that Americans can't get.
Well, a lot of times, yeah.
Why? Ad spend.
Yeah.
Like, guys, I understand you're running a business,
But
like,
all that being said, Half Wheel rated one of our cigars. Now
we've known the boys from Half Wheel for shit since we started.
well, they've always interviewed us.
Every year.
They're a great industry information source.
And we've said it in the past too.
They're great. Right?
They cover everything. They cover new releases. They cover movement in the industry,
News in the industry. Legislation.
Yep. The legal side of everything, the fights with the FDA, lawsuits, change of ownerships. I mean, they literally, if something happens in this industry, they're going to cover it, put an article out on it.
Now, they bought some night shifts from us that I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Like we must have shipped it and not even noticed.
Well, every year at the show, we give them, hey,
Yeah.
If you need more, let us know. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Nope. They went and bought their own cigars.
Yeah.
And did a review on it. And then I don't know what name they bought under.
I don't either. I don't know who they, but if you scroll up to the first picture, Justin, they happened to get one where the band was on crooked. Now these bands are put on by hand, and I just thought it was funny that the one that they got,
I know, right?
And like I smoke a night shift every day. This one is perfectly centered that I have sitting in front of me.
Right.
So, it just happens, right? Whoever put the band on, put it on a little crooked.
Yep.
But
so if you want to read an extremely detailed review,
yeah,
check out this review of the night shift on Half Wheel's website. They go into so much information. It's awesome, but it's impartial, right? We didn't ask them to do it.
yeah. And if you look at their other,
We didn't pay them to
if
do
you
it.
look at their other reviews, they don't hold back.
No,
Like it's hard to get a good rating out of them.
because they're brutally honest
Yeah.
with it. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
But like one of the cool things, Justin, if you scroll up just like 2 inches, we're right there. For your listeners out there that can't see this, they measured length, ring gauge, and weight of the 3 night shift cigars that they got. The lengths were 5.96 inches, 5.95 inches, and 5.98 inches.
and we claim it to be a 6-inch cigar.
Yep. And the ring gauge is the 3 measurements were 50.5, 49.5, and 50. And we claimed it to be a 50 ring gauge.
Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with those numbers.
And those slight variances are, the ring gauge, it's measured out of 64ths of an inch. So that cigar is 50 64ths of an inch. So 50.5 64ths, I'm totally okay with that. Right. Those, 3 or 4 or 5, tenths or thousandths tenths of an inch.
Yeah.
Honestly, it could have been shrinkage.
Well, that happens.
It could have been they used a legitimate ruler to measure the cutter, and then when they tightened down their gauge,
It could have been off the same cutter, and it's just how
you know what I mean? Yeah, like
how the worker.
and then weight 14 grams, 13.54 grams, 13.19 grams, and I don't know if you know how much a gram weighs, but it's not that much.
Right. So, yeah, I don't even know if you told me to tell you something that's 1 gram, I don't know what that would be.
The only thing I can tell you that's measured in grams isn't
It's powder.
legal. But I mean, for 3 cigars that were, we pulled and shipped just like we normally pull and ship every other order.
Yeah.
I think that those kind of fit the description of a 6x50.
Yeah.
And then throughout the review, he talks about tasting notes, but he also talks about construction. He talks about actually he goes into a little bit about growing bamboo, which I thought was pretty funny because it the tasting note triggered a memory,
Right.
And it kind of just snowballed a little. But But yeah, and then pictures as the cigar is being smoked, different flavor notes into the different thirds and all that kind of fun stuff. It's very, very, very well written article, very impartial and honest.
No, we were happy with it.
Like how I knew, how I found out that this Half Wheel review came out. Cigar Prop Kevin tagged me.
Oh, really?
In his post about it on Instagram, and I'm sitting there and I see that I'm like, Kevin tagged me something. I'm like, what Kevin tagged me? And I click on it and I'm like, oh shit, Half Wheel revealed the night shift.
Because when John and I look at Half Wheel is right before we get on this podcast to look at any new news or whatever, right? Like that's I look at Half Wheel at least once a week right before this.
I look at it almost daily because it's their stories. And one thing that I love what Half Wheel does is anything they publish, they put up as a story with a link to that article, right? So every day I'll look through their stories because it's just the title, the highlights of what they published that day. And honestly, the main thing I'm looking for is an FDA update.
Yeah.
But then I'll see like new releases and, all the other whatever's going on in the industry.
Who's suing who.
Yeah. but it's just the headline. And then if I need to know more, okay, cool. Awesome. Great. So they do a really good job about that. But yeah, Kevin with Cigar Prop, he tagged me in his post.
Yeah.
Because he was happened to be smoking a night shift that day as well. And I was like, well, shit. And then I read it and read the review, the rating, and I'm like, holy shit. So Half Wheel gave us a 91. And these are all out of 100. I don't know if Half Wheel's ever given anybody anything over a 95.
Yeah, I don't know.
Go to their review. Go to
this part?
No, just go to reviews. Yeah, go to cigars. I don't even know if they have a way to search by the rating.
They do. Nope. Let's see.
Yeah, they just do country and.
I looked one day. There's a way. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Well, go back up there. What's that one? An 88? And that's a Liga Privada from Drew Estate's got an 88.
Yeah.
And that's
an Unica series. That's not like one of their. Yeah.
Yeah, try that review list. There you go.
There we go.
So what's the highest score we see there? Just scroll through. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Go.
Somebody got there's a couple 99s.
Cohiba, Grand Reserva.
There's 4 99s out of
okay, but
since 2009.
Look at what they are and look at the dates on them. Okay, so 2 of them are Cohiba Grand Reservas, a David Office Special, and a Dunhill Estupendos. Those were all 99s. They were reviewed 2009, 12, 2016, 2010.
Keep scrolling a little bit.
Dunhill, La Polina, Opus, Tatuaje, Casafuente.
Let's see who else got a 91. Let's just
I mean, the ones that are rated high, they're damn good cigars,
A lot of 92s.
Yeah.
A lot of 92s.
But a lot of those are from 11 and 12. Okay, now we're in the 91s.
Aging Room, Aganorsa Leaf, Aladino, Alec Bradley.
So let's look for something that was rated. There we go. Avo Expressions Limited Edition. That was rated July 9th, 2024 with a 91. Okay. I don't even know that cigar. I'm just looking for stuff that was rated in 24. Cro-Magnon Knuckle Dragger.
But anyway, point of the story is we'll take a 91.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found out the same way John did. I was checking Warfighter's social media, and so we got tagged and stuff, and was going through and checking it out, and I saw that post and was like, "Oh shit!" And immediately got on Half Wheel.
Well, I was just happy they reviewed one without us asking or prompting or any of that. So
yeah,
but yeah, it was cool. So thank you, Half Wheel.
Yeah, we appreciate you, bud. Can't wait to see you at the show. I don't have much else.
No,
we had a bunch of questions, had some talks, talked about the Half Wheel. There's some booze I want to try.
Oh,
some triple quattro.
Some triple quattro.
Yep.
Why don't you grab it and hold it up so people can see what you're talking about?
So this is a little triple quattro. And this is triple. So triple is triple distilled, triple cast. This one's triple distilled quadruple cask because there's some wood staves in it. But
yeah, you can definitely
even
see
though it was a green bottle, there is such a color difference. It's insane. The flavor difference is crazy too. So for this one, you guys will have to tune into the Freedom Friends podcast to go over our tastings of the triple. And then, yeah. But other than that,
yeah, we'll see you next week.
Yep, on someday.
Yeah, on Sunday.
So cheers, buddy.
Cheers.